Let's go ahead. Now, delivering the presentation. We are on the last slide of the presentation. We did a nice pre-presentation preparation. We prepared the slide, keeping all these points always in points, never use long sentences, make it interactive. My show is also ready. I have prepared well. While I was preparing, I made sure that I kept these points in place. I was able to know the number of audience. I was able to know the age of the audience. I was able to know the literacy factor. And I was able to identify some sensitive points around the orientation background of the audience. So my homework is done well. I have asked these questions. Why do we need presentation? Why would people listen to me? What would they want to listen? Okay. So we were talking about the last slide. Are you able to see the my screen there?
Yes.
Okay. So the last screen which we were on, the last presentation which we were on, our presentation is ready. We have done all the possible things to make a good presentation. We have done our homework. Now comes the display, how to facilitate that. Now, a couple of points which we need to be very sure about. The use of stage. Now, I'm typically talking about your presentation is ready and there are about 50 or 25 or 100 people sitting there and watching your presentation and you are on the stage. Right. There could be a screen where you have got your PowerPoint presentation. So this is what I'm trying to talk about. The facilitation skills which I'm talking about, the use of the stage. Okay. Now, of course, at this point, the kind of arrangements, I have to talk to you about it. I cannot display, but a couple of things I will share with you. When I'm talking about the use of stage, there is no fixed rule that you have to use the entire stage, or there is no fixed rule that you have to stand at one place and give the presentation. It could be both, a mix of both. Better it is that you use, if the stage is yours, you better use the entire stage. Gives automatically a kind of presence. People's eyes follow you. You are walking from here, you're going from here to there, and they are following you. And that particular thing, if you have read about hypnotism, if you have read about the hypnotism skills, I'm not teaching you all how to hypnotize, but that is one of the way when you walk around the stage and you talk, you are making sure that they do not, their concentration is not distributed. They follow you. They are listening to you and they follow you. Most of the time, if you are standing at one place, it is good, but sometimes there is a chance they may get distracted. But you are making them follow. So try to use the stage. Now, it is most often comfortable. All of us are right-handed. We use our right hands, but then people who are left-handed also. So most of the time, what we need to do is that if you are talking to people, all right, and if there is a board or your presentation, always try to stand on the right side of your presentation. So if the audience is there in front of you, your presentation screen should be on your left-hand side. You should be standing on the right-hand side, and you should be discussing that. That is one of the things which you should be using carefully when you're using the stage. Second, very, very important information about the use of the stage is never, ever speak to the audience while you are not facing them. Even a word, even a sentence when you want to do, if not direct connection with them, at least an angular connection. Never ever speak to the audience like this. Your back should never be towards the audience. It should always be, of course, it's not that you should not show your back. You can show, you can turn around, you can completely look at the presentation, you can completely show them the details. But when you speak, I'm talking about facilitation skills. When you speak, make sure that you are looking at the audience. And if you are not walking, I would suggest you should walk. You should walk the entire stage. But if you are not walking, and if you are walking also please try to have an eye contact. It is difficult what I'm trying to say, but please try to have an eye contact with almost everyone in the participants. You will say, 200 people? Yes, 200 people. In a second, I can have an eye contact with at least 5 people. So throughout my 45 minutes or a 30 minutes presentation, I can easily at least once put my eye directly into the eyes of every participant or every audience. That's what exactly I mean to say by the use of the stage. Try to walk throughout the stage. While you are walking, try to make an eye contact with all of them. Make sure that you do that. Never show your back while you are talking. You can show them the back, but not while talking. Keep your screen, your board on the left-hand side whenever you're talking, and then speak. And finally, when you are using the stage, do not block what is written on the screen when you are reading it for them. Never block that. That is about the use of the stage. Any questions, any doubt about the use of the stage over here? Excellent. Now when I talk about the use of language, we have already done this in the past. I have told you all that during our professional communication, use of language. Now here I'm not talking about your English, your grammar, your vocabulary, your fluency. This is already perfect. You're already good in that. Once again, please note, here I'm not talking about your English skills in terms of fluency, your vocabulary, your grammar. I'm not talking about your voice. Here the language is only 2 things to be taken care of. Please use positive language. Second, use finite and what? You remember? I was saying you should be using what kind of a language? Persuasive language. So once again, positive language, finite and persuasive language. People should get persuaded, people should get convinced. Positive language, go back to our professional communication notes. You will find what do I mean by positive language and what do I mean by finite. Very, very simple. Do not use infinite. Infinite, yes, today is a very important day. We will learn many things. Many things is an example of infinite language. You should mention the points. Today we will be covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. That's what exactly I mean by finite language. Coming to the third point is the body language. Now, what do I mean by body language in a presentation? Very simple. As I mentioned, do not show your back to the audience. You can occasionally do that, but while you are talking, please do not show your back. Look into the eyes. Now, one small thing I would be sharing with you in body language over here is, of course, body language is a very, very huge topic, but just related to the facilitation skills I'll be covering over here is that whenever you talk, your body language should not express extreme, as in the language as I mentioned, it should not express extreme. Body language should not express extreme. Example, it was a great day. Can you look at me, all of you all? Can you look at me, my arms? Okay. Yeah, it was great. Now the moment I use this, this is something which you should avoid. Okay. Then do not point out at anyone. You there, I want to ask you a question. Avoid that. we get excited, we feel, but when we are giving a professional presentation, you should avoid this. Do not point out at anybody. Make sure that you do that. And as I mentioned, horizontally your arm should not go up, vertically it should not go up, and on your same level it should not go. Then how to use your arm? Play in this frame. Your head is one plane, your arms is one plane, and your chest is another plane. Your body language, your action of your hands should be within this frame itself. There only. Yes, how are you? Yes, you have a question. Can I answer this question? Yes, can you ask whatever you want to ask, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to present. Make sure that your hand action is within this area. This is your domain. This is the area which you need to talk about. So this is one simple example of the body language. Finally, one more very important. Please make sure the entire nose and maximum of your body is facing the person to whom you are asking the question or to whom you are interacting. Say, for example, if I'm talking to you, I should never be talking to you all like this. Hey, hi guys, how are you all? How are the things going on? It doesn't look at all professional. You also would not be comfortable. How does it look like this? I'm sitting over here, you are watching me from there, and I'm talking to you all. Hey, hi, how are you all? How are the things going on? It does not look, people would not like it. So your nose and maximum of your body should be aligned to the person to whom you're talking. Same thing. That is, maximum of your body, maximum of your face should be aligned to the audience when you're talking. So please be very careful. That is all about the body language which I wanted to mention. If there is any questions about the body language related to the facilitation skills, you can ask. Before I go to that other topic of involving skills. Anyone has any question? Great. Yes. Now, I'm talking about the involving skills. Now, when I talk about the involving skills, that's a very, very important, not a very rocket science skills, but it's important because if you don't involve them, okay, if you don't involve the people, what will happen? People will get away from the presentation. People will not focus on the presentation. People will not be able to participate in the presentation. So you've got to be a little bit careful when you are giving a presentation, involve the people. And it's very simple. How do you involve the people? It's very simple. You involve the people. You involve the people, very simple, by asking questions. Ask people questions. Ask them questions which you may or they may anticipate. Ask questions. Automatically the people will get involved. Once they are involved, two things will happen. First, you will be able to achieve the outcome of the presentation. And the second important thing is that people will be participating in it. Nobody in the group will know, hey, you know what? He's going to ask me a question. I don't know. He's asking a question to that person. He's asking the question to that person. I may be the next person in the list. He may ask me a question. So automatically, they will be involved. They would be careful. They would participate. They would be attentive in the presentation. So please involve them in the presentation. Now, last, handling crisis. Can anybody guess what do I mean by handling crisis? A wild guess? What do I mean by handling crisis? I'm giving a presentation. I've done my pre-presentation skills properly. My presentation has been prepared excellently. I am giving the presentation also very nicely. My presentation facilitation skills are also very good. I'm using the stage properly. I'm using the language properly. And I'm using the stage properly. I'm using the language properly. I am having a good body language. I am involving the people. So what could be the crisis? Can you all guess what could be the crisis?
Maybe a technical glitch where
I'm sorry?
maybe a technical glitch where maybe my PPT doesn't work.
Yes, maybe a technical glitch. You're hinting on our situation. Okay. Anything else?
No, not at all, but it can happen.
Yes, it can happen. It definitely can happen. Technical glitches can happen. Suddenly, the camera is not working. The mic is not working. Suddenly, the PowerPoint presentation is not working. Now, what do? I panic. How to handle the crisis?
It can happen.
If another one, another crisis. Any wild guess? I have hired the best people. They have promised me there cannot be any technical glitches. So fine, there is no technical glitches. Accept it. What is the other crisis which could happen? Every time when you travel in the bus, train, aeroplane, or you are in the public, whenever you are in a public, whenever there are more than two people, there is always a good chance there are some critics sitting somewhere in the audience. Are you all able to understand what I'm trying to say? There is always a good chance that there is a critic sitting in the audience. This critic is the crisis. He or she will always have some questions for you. He or she will always have mostly irrelevant questions for you. He or she will have mostly questions which are not relevant, maybe relevant to the topic, but not relevant at that point. These are the crisis creators. Now, it is important to have a handling skills for them, because they are the people, those who will take you and the audience completely away from each other of the presentation. These people will on and off, sir, I have a question, I have a point, I have a doubt. They will keep on asking you, they will keep on disturbing you, they will keep on distracting you. Now, how to handle this crisis? How to handle this crisis? Now, very, very simple. There is no shortcut. No shortcut at all. You need to be 100% prepared with your topic. If you're not prepared 100% with your topic, please don't give the presentation. There is no facilitation skills, there is no use of stage, there is no use of language, there is no body language which will come to your rescue. If you are not good with your topic, if you are not 100% with your topic, it will not help. These crisis creators will kill you, will kill your presentation. If you are good on your topic, these crisis creators can be an asset. They can help you make this presentation a lively presentation. It is very difficult for you to find people responding during the presentation. It is very difficult for you to make people speak during the presentation. Take my words, it's a very, very difficult task. There are people, those who are crisis creators. Intentionally, they will not participate in your presentation. They will just stare at you like this, dead scare. Scary scare. They will not participate. They will just keep on looking. You ask them 100 questions, they will not answer. You ask them 100 suggestions, they will not answer. You are automatically dead. your presentation is gone. Your entire presentation is gone. So if you already have ready-made people, those who are asking questions, who are disturbing you, bingo, great, your work is done. Use these people. These are your puppets. These are your sketches. These are your cartoons to keep your presentation alive. But you can effectively use these critics if your knowledge on the topic is excellent. That is one first thing you need to understand. You can effectively use these crises to take care of the presentation. One, how to take care of these crises. First, you are convinced that I can handle these people because my knowledge is clear. Second, never ever avoid their question. Now, how to do that? They may say, no, sir, I don't agree with this. I completely disagree with you. Now, how would you answer? How would you respond to that? Same thing as I told you. Language. In this I mentioned. Now, when I said use of language, I made one very specific point. The first point, use of language. Can anybody remember? Positive language. So if this person who is creating a crisis has a question, no, I completely disagree what you're saying. Now, how could you answer him? How could you do not disagree with him? You can say, oh, that's a great point. Yes, I accept that you are not disagreeing or you're not agreeing to it. However, let me give you some more examples. So always start with a positive. However is a very strong word. Try to use it and then put in your point. Because if you negate, if you object him, he will fire back with more energy. If he says, I don't agree to this, and if you say, how do you not agree? It is a fact. It is necessary. He will fire back. He will come back with more energy. But the moment you agree to him, oh, yes, that is a very important point you've mentioned. Automatically, he is calmed down. He is very, very happy. You know what? In the audience, he is very happy. Are you all able to see me? Everyone? Are you all able to see me? This is what is running in his mind. In his mind, this is what is his expression. He cannot say. He is going extreme. I told you not to use the action like this, but I'm using this action. He is very happy. He is looking at the audience. See? He is agreeing to me. He is giving the presentation, but he is agreeing to me. Automatically, he will sit down quietly. He will now listen to you. So, positive language is very, very important. Handling crisis. These critics will always have some trouble for you. Agree to them and then put in your point. That is the second thing. Third thing is that if you are still wanting to use these people, you can use it in a different way. How? This person has a question. Instead of you answering, ask one of the audience, hey, you know what? That's a very interesting question he's asking. That's a very important objection he's having. Do you guess or can you guess an answer for it? Ask another audience. Automatically the audience who are sleeping, who are not attentive, they are attentive because now the question will come to me. So again, another one. So automatically you are using this person as a tool because nobody is asking questions, he's asking questions, you are asking others to answer this question. And of course, you will eventually answer. But if the time is not sufficient, if his question or his topic is not relevant to the topic, you can say, yes, I appreciate you're asking this question. It is definitely an important point. However, we are running short of time. After the presentation, I will personally talk to you. Again, he is very happy. You know what? This person is going to talk to me personally. And he will keep quiet. So these are the small, very simple techniques to handle the crisis. Any questions, any doubts on this? And finally, as I said, answering questions and time management. When I say that, if you have gone or you have shooted out of the time, please have a small FAQ questions, frequently asked, or question session, wherein they can question and answer session. They can come up and ask you questions, and you can already prepare an FAQ for the audience. Possibly these are the questions you may want to ask. Give them that FAQ sheet so that all those questions, you do not waste time for people to think. You anticipate and give them. So it gives them confidence. You know what? These guys are prepared. These guys know what exactly could be the question. So they are anticipating those questions, and they have already given me the list. So the flow will be fast. There would not be any distraction, and you'll be able to manage the time. I am almost done with this. These are the topics. This presentation will be mailed to you. Please go through this presentation, and tomorrow I want all of you all to prepare a presentation on any given topic, any given topic of your choice. And once you prepare, automatically there would be n number of questions which you will come across. Now, if you all have finished preparing the presentation, we will spend some time on what presentation we have prepared. Otherwise, I will take you through some of the presentations which are of different topics, and we will spend some time understanding all these points which we have mentioned about the topic, duration, audience, and the medium, as to what was the hints, as I said, about the past details, present situation, and the future possibilities of that topic, how we can prepare an icebreaker, how we can gather the content, how we can prepare the present the content. All these things we will take a live example and we will discuss. I'm done for the day today. If there is any questions, please ask. Great. If there are no questions, you all have a good day. We will make sure that we send this presentation to all of you all, the details which I have made in. And if there is any questions, please make a note. Do your good homework for tomorrow's presentation. Have a good day, and bye to all of you all.